Marvin is going to be running things today, so I just want you to take your cues from Marvin today, all right?
Why would you guys do that?
I don't want to be the bad guy. I had a great weekend. The sun is out. I just want to make sure that Fritzy is having fun.
You seem refreshed.
So I am. I went fishing yesterday. Yep, went fishing. Caught some smallmouth bass and catch and release, by the way. But, went out and I roughed it a little bit. Was out there, but kind of like Ahab. I'm looking for the big one.
Big waves out there?
Yeah, looking for the big one.
What makes it a smallmouth bass? How big is the big mouth bass then?
It's larger than the small.
Larger
mouth.
than the small.
Yeah, its
Thanks for
mouth
clearing
is
that up.
like you would be a largemouth bass.
I would be a big mouth bass. I would be that. I would be that.
Pain in the bass.
Yeah. Yes, Marvin.
Whenever you're in Maine, do you just feel more like a man?
Oh, you can't spell Maine without M-A-N.
Well said.
It's on their license plate, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Yeah. You're Paul Bunyan here. It's just you're out there in the wilderness. But, when it's just you and the dog and then you hear sounds at night and you're like, oh, I'm scared.
Those glowing eyes and the thing. What kind of cats they got out here?
Yeah. Well, I have a dog, Winnie's a rescue, but part coonhound, and she is a hunter. She'll hear everything. And sometimes she didn't hear anything, but it certainly sounds like she did. Yes, Paul?
Now, Maine has bears, and you know about bear, like the strategy. If a bear walks up on you or is near you, you're supposed to stand motionless and just walk backwards slowly. Is that the routine?
I believe so.
How does a person do that?
Well, I encountered a bear. This is 1999. I'm in British Columbia. Here's Dan's story time. So I'm up there fly fishing, and we stay for an extra day because we're on a photo safari. This group wanted to do a photo safari. They gave me a camera, and they said, we're going to look for the Kermode Bear. Kermode Bear is one of the rarest animals in the world. It's an albino bear. Kind of looks like a polar bear, but it's a spirit bear is what it's called. So Native Americans viewed it as a religious figure. Well, we're there, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to see this bear. I mean, it's one of the rarest animals in the world. Our guide on the boat had lived there. He was over 40 years of age. He had never seen the bear. And all of a sudden, we realized that there's a sighting for the bear. And we go over, we're moving closer to this island, and all of a sudden, you see a little speck. And then I realize that might be as close as I get, to the Kermode Bear. Our guide, Native American, starts crying because that's a religious figure. We get there on shore. Eventually, the bear's gone. I'm like, all right, at least I got these real small, grainy pictures, and people may not believe me, but we did get to see sort of the Kermode Bear. I'm standing there looking through all my film my pictures. The bear walks out. And the bear and the salmon are spawning. So the bear walks out. He's 10 feet away from me. And the guys that I'm with moved about 20 feet away from me. They didn't tell me, so I stood there. And then I did what Paulie said. I didn't run. I stood there. And then all of a sudden I thought, I'm just going to take pictures because this is content. And if he eats me, I might be able to get that last picture right before he eats me.
Legendary.
So I have a couple of these pictures that are framed. Gorgeous bear, but all he cared about was salmon spawning. So I kind of survived almost a bear attack, I guess you could say. Almost. Yes, Paul.
That's pretty solid, though, the fact that you unintentionally stood there motionless because you're taking pictures.
Well, if I was reading the room and had the wherewithal to look up, I probably would have run. But I stood there because I was frozen, just taking pictures. And the bear is 8 feet tall, and he looks at me, and then all of a sudden he goes, that's not salmon. And he went back in and started grabbing the salmon that were spawning. Todd, what did you send me here about bears with salmon?
Oh, it's not considered spawning. And in case there's someone that's in that kind of world that might want to correct you, when you were talking about spawning, I decided to look it up to see if it's called that. But it's not exactly called spawning. They're just kind of catching and eating fish, the bears. So it was something less than spawning that was going on. I guess that's
No. The salmon are spawning, not the bears.
The salmon are spawning. I thought you were referring to the bears are spawning.
Oh my God.
A hard left turn there.
Wow.
Knee deep in college football.
Wow. The salmon swimming upstream, where they lay their eggs, fertilize their eggs, and then they die.
I appreciate the clarification.
11.
But yeah, bears. Thanks for joining us. Bears do not spawn. Salmon spawn.
They should spawn, though, those bears. And Todd would be right if they did.